Hi, this is Andrea with Red Apple Lipstick, and by the end of this video, you are going to have a gorgeous eye makeup look that you can do in under 10 minutes, great for a mask, and you'll learn the easiest way to smile with your eyes. Let's get ready. I'm going to start off doing the two things that I do every single day, no matter what, and that is Rally Balm and Primetime Eye Primer. Primetime Eye Primer is intended to color correct eyelids and provide a blank canvas for those eyeshadows to pop out against and to keep your eyeshadow from creasing all day long. And if you're new here, let me just tell you, Rally Balm is the most moisturizing lip balm. While I'm waiting for my Primetime Eye Primer to dry before putting eyeshadow on top of it, I'm going to fill in my eyebrows with a little bit of Brownie Points eyeshadow, starting in the sparsest part of my brow and working my way out towards the end. I want my brows to end right where the imaginary line from my lower lash line extended out to my brows ends. I'm going to fill it all the way out to there. I like to use eyeshadow or brow powder if you have that. I like to use that because to me it creates a much more natural eyebrow look than using a pencil. Next, I'm going to take the eyeshadow in Innocence, this pearly little white one down here, and I am going to dust that lightly on the inner corner of both eyes and kind of into the eyelid area for some brightness. You can use any eyeshadow to do this that's super light and bright. It doesn't have to be shimmery. It doesn't have to be bright white. It just needs to be a little bit lighter than the rest of the eyeshadows. And this kind of looks super bright right now, but I'm gonna tame that down and it'll get blended into everything else. Next, I'm going to take the shade in Like U Latte, which is this one right here. I think this is such a fun transition shade. It is a very light but easily buildable eyeshadow that I'm going to sweep all across my crease and actually above my crease. Okay, so I have just become aware that I have hooded lids. So if you have hooded lids, or if you're not sure that you have hooded lids, I'll be doing a whole video about that later. But look in the mirror, and if your crease disappears when your eyes are just relaxed and looking straight at the mirror, like mine does, then you want to make sure that you put this deeper shade above your actual crease. You want to look straight in the mirror, and you want to put it where you can actually see it, which is actually here. And if I were to lift my eye, that's actually way above my crease. My crease is down here, but I'm going to actually be putting this up here so that you can actually see it, which will create the shadow, which will allow my eyes to look bigger and pop up against that darker color. Next, I'm going to take the shade Down to Earth, which I think is just this really fun kind of orangey, bronzy shade, and I'm going to put that all over my outer third of my eye, probably outer 2/3 of my eyelid, and into the crease, kind of blend it in. And the final eyeshadow I'm going to use is called Minx, right here. I'm going to use Minx, and I'm just going to put that into my outer crease just to create a little bit more depth, because again, if I'm going to be wearing a mask, I really want my eyes to pop, and this is going to help kind of tone down the orange bronzy that I have going on here, which I love and is fabulous for blue eyes, green eyes, all of that, but I just want to warm it up a little bit more. The most important thing to remember is when you are putting a darker shade out here on the crease, you want to not go below that imaginary line we were discussing earlier. You want to make sure that that darker color does not extend down here, especially when you look straight into the mirror. Because if you have any sort of a hood or any sort of a droop and that darker shade goes below that imaginary line, your eyes are going to hang. Your eyes are going to look droopy. droopier than they actually are. It's going to enhance any sort of a hood, and it's going to make your eyes look droopy on the outside, and we always want up and out. And I did say last eyeshadow, but I am going to use another eyeshadow to line my lower lash line. I'm going to use that angled eyeliner brush again, and I'm going to use Down to Earth. I like to stop about mid-pupil so that it doesn't close my eyes down, the shape of my particular eye, and I actually think most people's eyes react this way. When you line the entire bottom lash line, I think that it closes the eye down and makes your eyes look smaller. So I would recommend most anybody, especially if you're over the age of 35, don't line your entire lower lash line unless you are going for a super sultry, smoky, very lined all the way around eye. If you're wanting it to be bright and open and up and out, then just stop about mid-pupil with whatever you're lining your lower lash line with. And the lighter the shade, the better. So instead of a harsh black line, you could use something like this, like kind of a bronzy or a super light brown, or even kind of a gray would also work. And just be a very subtle, just to kind of deepen the lash line and make your lower lashes pop just a little bit more. So next, I'm going to use the Lash Project mascara. I'm going to do 2+ coats because I think that it's those little things that make a difference in the eyes. Instead of just doing 1 coat, doing 2 or 3 really makes your eyes pop. My favorite trick for not getting mascara on your eyelid is to look down into your mirror. Instead of looking like this and trying to do it like this, look down into your mirror, and then you want to wiggle, wiggle, and then swipe, swipe. Wiggle, wiggle, swipe, swipe. And that goes for any mascara that you are applying, whether it's the Lash Project, which you should be using because it's amazing and it conditions your lashes and makes them healthy and strong and gorgeous, and it removes really easily at the end of the day. But if you're using any other mascara, this will also work. Then I'm going to use whatever was left on the mascara wand after my last coat, and I'm just going to do like 1 little swipe on each bottom lash line. Okay, so I hope that you saw how simple that really was, and I want you to remember that when you're doing your own eye makeup is that the subtle things are what make all the difference. So when you are just looking at your eyeshadow palette, or you haven't put on makeup for months and now all of a sudden you're needing to, go to the school drop-off line, or you're starting to want to look better at your online meetings or something, and you're looking at your eyeshadow palette and you're just not sure what to do, just remember brows, 2 coats of mascara, and always going up and out are subtle things that can just make all the difference between looking a little bit tired and looking more awake and having your eyes be nice and bright. I let my 3-year-old cut me some little bangs, and they're acting a little wild today. Last thing we're going to talk about is how to smile with your eyes. Now, this should be pretty simple, but bear with me. What I've noticed is that at first when people started wearing masks, they weren't making eye contact with other people as much, and I certainly didn't see people smiling, obviously, because their faces are behind a mask, right? But what I'd like to offer is that you can smile with your eyes and other people know you're smiling as long as you actually smile. Let me demonstrate. That's how big I'm smiling under there. It's all in the squint. It's all in the squint, and I guarantee other people know that you're smiling at them. Now, why is that important? Why do we need to smile at other people, especially strangers? Well, I will tell you. Number 1, we could all use some more happiness and some more kindness being shown at us, anybody. And I don't know about you, but when a stranger smiles at me, it is just so lovely, right? What we know about smiling in general, though, is that it gives us a dopamine hit. So if we're all walking around just smiling at people, especially smiling really big, we're getting a dopamine hit. And then I know that other people see us smile and they smile back. Whether they actually do it when we're watching or whether they do it after we've already passed by and they noticed our smile and they just smiled, even if it's not huge. But they got a dopamine hit too, which means we are all leaving the grocery store or the meeting or the school pickup line, whatever, a little bit happier. And so I think that we should go around spreading many more smiles as often as possible. So go forth, do fabulous eye makeup, and smile your little face off.